Hey there guys, my name's Aaron for all of you who don't know me, and I'm here to tell you about my favorite judge, Samson. Okay? So a long time ago, there was the nation of Israel, right? And Israel was getting ruled over by the Philistines, right? They were getting ruled over by the Philistines, and it was a time of oppression for the Israelites. And then one day, an angel appeared to a couple Israelites, to a husband and a wife. And the angel appeared to the wife, and the angel was like, guess what? You're gonna have a baby. Except this isn't gonna be a normal baby. This baby's gonna be a Nazarite of the Lord. Okay? And he's gonna be blessed. He's gonna be blessed with gifts. But that means there's a couple rules. You can't eat anything unclean. You can't drink any wine or eat anything of grapes. Because that's what a Nazarite did. And the angel said, also, you must never, ever cut his hair. And so the wife was like, okay, sure, we'll do it. And so the wife did it, and Samson was born. Okay, Samson was born, and he grew up big, and he grew up strong. And since he never ever cut his hair, guess what happened? He had some luscious, flowing locks like mine, if you can't tell. They're pretty great, I know. So Samson had long hair like this, and he was super strong, and he was amazingly strong, like supernaturally strong. And all the Philistines wondered, how did he get so strong? And so they thought it was because of magic or anything like that, but actually, it was all given to him by God and for his glory. Okay? And just a couple examples of how strong Samson was. One day he was walking down the street, just walking, minding his own business, and then out of nowhere, a lion jumped out and attacked him. But then Samson was like, you kidding me? I got this. And so he grabbed the lion and he beat the lion up and he killed the lion, all with his bare hands. He didn't have any weapons. I don't know about you, but I can barely open a jar of pickles with my bare hands. So Samson, to do it with his bare hands is insane. Also, there was another time when Samson was getting attacked by the Philistines, and he had to defend himself. And so he went and he grabbed the jawbone of a donkey, and he started hitting the Philistines with that, and he killed 1,000 men. I can't even picture 1,000 men, let alone killing 1,000 men. So Samson was so incredibly strong. He was right? He was super strong, and he lived for the Lord. Okay, but Samson wasn't perfect. He loved Philistines. He loved Philistine women. He thought that they were really pretty, and then he thought that they were cute, and that was his weak spot, right? Because we all have weak spots. Like when I see a Hershey's or a Crunch Bar, I'm like, whew. That's my sweet spot right there. Delicious, right? But Samson thought that the Philistines were really cute. And so Samson loved this girl named Delilah. Okay? He loved Delilah so much. But the problem is, Delilah didn't love Samson back. And so one day Delilah, she was just minding her own business, but then some Philistines came up to Delilah, and they're like, hey Delilah, if you find out how Samson got so strong, then we'll give you a whole lot of money. And so Delilah was like, okay, because she didn't really love Samson. And they're like, Samson can get captured and I can get a whole lot of money. And she was like, sweet, I love that. And right, that's so sad for Samson. And so it was Delilah's duty to go and find out what made Samson so strong. And so one night, Delilah asked Samson, how are you so strong? And Samson was like, and Samson didn't answer, but she was like, okay, well, how can you be safely tied up? How could someone take away your strength? And Samson was trying to trick her, and so he was like, if you tie me up with 7 new bowstrings, then I'll be as weak as a fly. And so Delilah was like, okay, good. And so Delilah went and told the Philistines. And so one night, Delilah heard the Philistines at the house, and then Delilah was like, Samson, the Philistines are here. And Samson was like, oh, okay. And he went, and he was already tied up. Samson tied him up with 7 bowstrings, and he was able to just blink, like pop all of them off, like nothing happened. Okay, and he went and he dealt with the Philistines. and Delilah was like, oh, he lied to me. Oh man. And so Delilah asked Samson again, and she was like, Samson, how can we make you weak? Like how? And Samson was like, all right, this time it's true. Like, I promise, this time it's true. If you bind me with a brand new rope, a rope that has never been used before, then I mean, I'd be so weak. Like, it wouldn't even be funny. I'd be so weak. And Delilah was like, okay, sweet, we got it. So she told the Philistines, and then he got Samson, while he was sleeping again, he got wrapped up with a brand new rope that had never been used before. And then Delilah heard the Philistines outside the door, and she was like, Samson, the Philistines are here. And again, and he just popped the rope off like it was nothing. And Delilah was like, oh man. And Samson went and dealt with the Philistines. And then she did it a third time. She was like, Samson, how, like, you made me look like, Samson, why do you lie to me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And Samson was like, of course I love you. And she's like, well then how do I make you weak? And Samson was like, okay, this time it's true. If you put my hair in 7 locks and wove it and like bind it together, then I mean, I'd be so weak, like I'd be as weak as you. And Delilah was like, ouch, but okay, finally, like, sweet, I got it. And so she told the Philistines once again, she's like, hey, I know how to make him weak. Psst, 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 psst. And so the Philistines were like, okay, cool. And so during the night, she went and she wove his hair together in 7 bands and everything. And then she heard the Philistines knocking on the door. Bah, bah, bah. And then she's like, Samson, the Philistines are here to attack you. And then he went and she's like, again? And he popped his hair right out of it, okay? And he went and he dealt with the Philistines. And Delilah was like, oh man, he made me look stupid like 3 times in a row. And then the next day, and then later on, Delilah was like, Samson, do you love me? Do you love me? Because if you did, you'd tell me the truth. And Samson, he couldn't take it anymore. He felt bad for lying to the person that he loved. And he wanted to tell her, and so he did. He said, the real reason why I'm so strong is directly connected to my hair being long. He said, I'm a Nazarite. I belong to the Lord. If you cut my hair, my strength will be gone. I won't have any more strength. And Delilah knew that Samson wasn't lying. And so she was like, okay. And she went and she talked to the Philistines and she said, come back one more time. And so they did. And Samson fell asleep on Delilah's lap. And while Samson was asleep, the Philistines came in and they cut his hair. They cut all of his hair off and they shaved his head. That way it looked pretty much like me, right? With his pretty shaved head. And so then after that, they bound him up, and Delilah woke him up and she was like, Samson, the Philistines are here. And then he tried to break everything that bound him, but he couldn't. He was bound together, and his strength had left him because his power was connected to his hair being long, and that was one of the rules that God gave him, to always keep your hair long and never drink any alcohol or anything like that. But the thing is, he broke that rule, and so he lost that power. And so he tried to break free, but he couldn't. And so then what happened was they went and they took Samson and they put him in prison. And as they put him in prison, and then they went to each of his eyeballs, and they went and they popped out his eyeballs. And Samson couldn't see, and he was blind. And so he was blind in prison. And then the Philistines were so happy. They were like, yes, we finally got Samson. And they were all giving each other high fives, and they were like, woo, we did it. And so they went to set up a super big party, right, to celebrate. And so during the party, they were all getting like, oh, bring out Samson. We ain't scared of him. Bring him out. And so they brought out Samson from the prison, and they brought him to the party. That way they could laugh at him, and they could laugh at him. And so Samson asked one of the servants, and he was like, "Can you lean me up against a pillar? That way I have something to lean on," because he was extremely weak. And so he was able to lean up against the two pillars that kept the entire roof up, and kept the entire structure good. And he went and he prayed. He prayed to the Lord, and he said, "Lord, I know I've done some stupid things, and I know I don't deserve it. I know I've messed up. But if I'm going to die, let me die with these Philistines." And so he prayed for his strength back, and God filled him with his spirit, and Samson put his left arm on the left pillar and the right arm on the right pillar, and then he pushed with all of his might. The whole building crashed down. There was over 3,000 people just on the roof of the building, not even counting inside of it. And Samson killed more Philistines then than he ever did throughout his entire life. And with that, Samson died. Okay? Now what's the moral of the story, right? What's the moral of the story? God gives us strength, okay? Strength is not in us. Strength is not in us. We can't do anything without God. God is the one who supplies our strength, and we need to continue in prayer, and we need to follow Him. We need to listen to Him. We need to pray. We are not our own strength. It's all in God. So I hope you enjoyed the story of Samson, the mightiest man of God. Bye, guys.